You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Sponsored in part by MB Subculture Comics and Costumes. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show where the only Stark we care about's first name is Tony. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Samantha.
And I did not watch Game of Thrones last night.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that. But first, hey, thank you all for tuning in this week. We have a great show for you. Actually, a lot of Star Wars news. So buckle up. I hope you enjoy Star Wars news.
Yeah, that was my other intro, was there's a Star Wars.
All right, but first, let's talk about some things we've been checking out. Okay, let's get it out of the way. Did anyone watch Game of Thrones?
No.
I never have.
No.
Great, let's move on.
I've watched 6 episodes, and it was okay. Now let's keep going.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is a reminder that even if a show has magic and dragons and swords, it doesn't have to be for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, let's not drag Game of Thrones anymore, because I'm sure it's a good show for some folks.
I'm sure it's a fine show.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead and get into some things here. I'll start. First up, I watched Shazam. Went to the theater, saw that opening weekend. Pretty good. I actually liked it a lot. Has anyone else seen Shazam yet?
We almost went to see it a couple times, and then just it didn't end up going.
Okay, definitely.
That's my life.
Yeah, don't sleep on this one. It's really good. I think it's different than a lot of the other DC movies because there's actually a lot of levity in it. It's actually really funny, but it doesn't totally cut down and make it like it's not just a goofy kids movie. I mean, there's some scary stuff. There's like 80s children's action movie level scary stuff. Like, you know how like the Goonies had like there were jump scares.
Yeah,
there's stuff.
There's a skeleton.
There's a skeleton like,
There was
Labyrinth.
there was a body in a freezer.
I would say, okay, like Dark Crystal. That's there are 2 scenes out of the movie that parents who are squeamish about the things that their kids watch would probably not care for. It's like the contractually obligated grim and gritty DC movie, couple of scenes, but otherwise really great. The third act twist I kind of saw coming because they are definitely going with the New 52 reboot version of Shazam or Captain Marvel, whatever you want to call him. Shazam. Although he never calls himself Shazam in this. There's a running joke that he doesn't have a name. Huh. He doesn't have a superhero name, and Buddy Freddy keeps telling people different superheroes, Captain Sparkle Fingers and Captain Thunder and all this other stuff. Which, fun fact, Captain Thunder was a name that they used for Captain Marvel way back when. They had changed it temporarily, and yeah. Anyway, really good. Third act twist was really great. Zachary Levi does a great job playing a giant kid. Like, he does a really good job. There's a reference to Big in the movie.
I was going to ask if there's any, like, shadowings of Big.
Okay, so in the trailers, there's shots of, like, he's fighting Mark Strong, and they end up in, like, a toy store. And you know, in the trailer, he throws that toy that says, I'm Batman, and then throws a Batman action figure at him.
I didn't see that in a trailer.
Go watch the trailer. It's in there. Anyway, as he's like running out of the toy store being chased by Mark Strong, he steps on a giant floor piano, like in Big. And that's kind of clever. But no, I would really recommend it. I think it's unfair to compare Captain Marvel and Shazam because they're 2 very different movies. But because they both kind of have the same superhero name, if you have to, I would say Captain Marvel is better when it's part of the giant Marvel.
Well, yeah, it's almost so deep into the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's one of my major issues with it, is it didn't stand alone enough.
Yeah. Whereas Shazam is completely standalone. They make one reference right at the very, very, like, it's even a post-credit sequence, so it barely even counts. So I think as a standalone film, looked at in a vacuum, I think Shazam might actually be
the better movie?
Just barely, like just barely edge it out, like, you know, a 9.1 to a 9.3 out of 10 kind of thing.
See Shazam because it's fun. See Captain Marvel because you have to.
Because you kind of have to. It's required viewing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to be on the exam.
And that exam is called Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. Beyond that, the other big thing that I did over this past weekend went to Steel City Con, which is in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. It's a comic convention. They actually do this con 3 times a year.
Good Lord.
And they get a huge list of celebrities.
I saw this was a ton.
Yeah, and you know what? They only had like 2 celebrities back out. Karen Allen was supposed to be there from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Pauly Shore backed out because he's filming a movie?
What? No, he isn't.
He is. Well, that's the excuse he gave.
That's the excuse he made up.
Yeah. But it was.
I still get work.
But
Oh, Lord.
But no,
Yeah, it's Biodome
the
too.
con was big enough to get Rob Schneider there. Rob Schneider.
The real Rob.
The real Rob
everybody.
Schneider. But no, it was a really good con. We just went on this Sunday. It's a 3-day con.
They had like half the cast of The Office.
Yeah. Creed and Oscar, Stanley, and Meredith were the 4. Actually, I almost took it with me. I ended up not taking it with me. Creed Bratton was actually in a band called the Grassroots back in the 60s, and I have one of their albums. And I was actually going to try to get him to sign the cover of that album. So
That probably would have made his day.
Yeah, if he comes back around to any more cons, it seems like they're on the con circuit now.
It
I'll
was
do
an Angela short of being an exciting amount of Office people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Angela Kinsey. That she's very funny.
She's very funny. Yeah. The con was really good. Again, only went on the Sunday. It's a 3-day con. I don't think there's enough there to do all 3 days.
Unless you're paid to be there.
I think, yeah, unless you're paid to be there. I think maybe spending about 3 hours at this con is good if you're just going to enjoy the con.
How long's the drive?
About 3 hours. So, I mean, you want to find something else to do while
Yeah.
we're there. While you're there, we actually went to a gourmet burger place called Burgatory, but it was really good. I had a cheeseburger with candied bacon, peanut butter, and habanero jelly on it.
Nice.
It was really super, super good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But no, really enjoyable. A lot of cosplay.
Can we cut that pervert noise that Josh just made about that burger?
Oh, no, we're going to loop that. We're just going to start looping that in the background.
That burger pervert sound?
That wasn't a pervert sound. That was a disapproving sound.
Oh,
It sounded like a pervert sound.
Sounds like you liked it.
No.
you're enjoying that burger a little too much over there, Josh.
No.
But we actually got a bunch of cosplay pictures. Wish we would have gotten more. It's a weird thing. I'm a ball of anxieties and stuff when it comes to asking random strangers to take their picture. That's always kind of a weird thing. But if you go in costume, it usually makes it a little bit easier. Didn't end up going in costume. We thought about it, ended up not doing that. So
You could have Team Rocket did it.
we could have. I think we're going to do that next time. Or we might even come up with a new one for next time. And there's no press passes. That's one of the things that they do is that they do not give out any media passes whatsoever.
It's for the fans.
It's for the the fans.
Which is perfectly fine.
Which is perfectly fine and great. It does make it difficult to get pictures and get interviews when you are just walking up to someone and you look like
Joe Schmo.
Joe Schmo instead of someone from a media outlet. But, you know, that's whatever. That's their thing. That's cool.
That's why you wear your fedora with a tag in it that says press.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. If you ever want a little bit of a road trip, I definitely suggest it.
We got anything? I got Labo VR.
Oh, you did? Okay, that was actually one of the news things, so let's talk about that.
Well, it's still in cardboard sheets in the box.
Oh, fun. Okay, all right.
Haven't had a chance.
No, have not had time to put that together yet. But as soon as we do, we'll let you know about it.
Yeah, definitely. I've been really kind of eyeing it, to be honest.
I just really want to play those Mario. Actually, I just want any kind of more Mario Odyssey. I'm thirsty for.
That was a genius decision for them to do that.
Which we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later, yeah.
We watched Kung Fu Hustle.
We did.
Oh,
we
that's a
did.
fun movie.
We did watch Kung Fu Hustle last night. This is a very, very good movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
That is fun.
it's like if there was a Looney Tunes Kung Fu movie. That's what this movie is.
Absolutely.
Did you ever watch Shaolin Soccer?
Yes, that's
Okay.
also a very good.
It's also
movie.
really good.
Done by the same people.
Yeah, Stephen Chow. It's very silly kung fu movie. I mean, there's not much more you can say about it than that.
Who's throwing handles?
Oh, my favorite part is the scene where he's trying to pick a fight with the crowd of people that live in Pigsty Alley, and it's like, first he picks an old man, and the old man comes out and he's actually really buff when he comes out from behind the car. Or there's a guy that looks real short, but he stands up and turns out he was a really, really tall guy sitting down. Like these goofy sight gags like that are fantastic.
Yeah. It's been a few years since I've seen that. I really need to
It's
go
on
back and
Netflix.
rewatch it. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it is? Okay, cool.
I saw it in theaters and I had remembered absolutely nothing about it, and it was super fun.
Yeah.
CG's pretty dated, but
It's fine.
let it
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Well, not only is it dated CG, it's also like foreign movie CG, so it always looks a little
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
It's still a great movie, though.
yeah,
The fact that everyone's afraid of the lamb lady.
yeah.
She's the best character.
I saw this meme once where it said like the strongest woman in cinema history or whatever, and it had all these pictures of like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel and stuff, and then I had her at the bottom.
They're not wrong. Where was Nick Fury to pick her up at the end of the movie?
You see they're doing a Kung Fu Hustle too.
Are they?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not sure how they feel about it, but yeah, they are doing a sequel.
Cool. It could be good.
Oh, they could dive more into the 40s gangster stuff they had going on.
Mm-hmm.
Dancing around with their
Yeah.
hatchets.
Yeah.
I turn you like, why are they dancing?
There's a whole world in there they barely touched on. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's plenty of room. Man, I don't have anything video game related to talk about, like, at all.
Oh, wow. A first.
Yeah. I mean,
Weird.
I did finish Yoshi the other day, but we already talked
We
about
talked
that.
about that one. Yeah. Was it good? Was the ending okay?
Yeah, I mean, it starts to push back a tiny little bit toward
Oh,
the last
wow. Okay.
3 or 4 levels. Like, I wouldn't say it gets hard, but it gets
Yoshi
More
hard.
difficult?
yeah. And it unlocks some bonus levels that are actually legitimately difficult. So,
cool.
I would still recommend it. Just don't expect to be challenged, but you'll have fun, like, poking around the levels looking for the collectibles and stuff.
Well, as long as you're having fun, that's the important part. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's hard or not.
It's like a Kirby game, but maybe easier.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. if
Like
it's
a
easy.
Kirby game without the eldritch horror stuff at the very end.
Yeah.
That they always seem to add in.
Call of Kirby.
Call of Kirby Thulu.
We've talked about the new season of Sabrina.
We have not. And
Oh,
we-
yeah. Talk about that. That's, yeah.
We're pretty deep into that,
Yeah.
aren't we?
It's a great show. I love Sabrina.
So far, my favorite episode, there's this fortune teller that just wanders into town, and she starts basically reading tarot cards for all the different characters, and it's kind of like a what if.
Okay.
Kind of
Cool.
weird.
Yeah,
like-
it's like a bunch of vignettes of different characters' fortune telling or tarot readings.
Oh, that's cool.
It's called Dr. Cerebus's House of Horrors or something.
it's really good.
Yeah, it's almost a standalone episode, but the tarot readings do kind of like infer into the
Yeah.
further plot. So,
Oh, okay.
but just really clever, and just like even partway through the episode, I turned to you and I went, "This is a really fun episode."
Cool. Very cool.
But the season has been good, I think.
Yeah, there hasn't been any clunker episodes yet, I don't think. But if you like the first season, it's definitely
More of
of that.
Okay. Cool. Excellent.
Hasn't been slow at all. It's kept the plot moving right along. I feel like there's one more thing. We did watch that. Was it Love, Death, and Robots? We watched most of that. No.
What we do in the shadows. That's. You okay?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I
I know.
definitely wanted to talk about. Was
Okay.
the what we do in the shadows
Yeah.
series. But let's get Love, Death, and Robots out of the way first. It's heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
If it was not as good.
Oh, okay.
There's some good ones.
So Heavy Metal 2?
Yeah, Heavy Metal 2000.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really
Well,
good
there's, like,
shorts.
how many are there?
There's a lot of shorts in there.
Really.
You can watch all the shorts separately on Netflix, though.
Yeah.
They're all like there's like a sidebar that's kind of like got them all separated out.
Some of them are really clever stories that have good twists in them, and then some of them are like, what if a Fox Kids show said swears and people died?
That's literally what I said after.
Yeah.
I've only watched like the first 3 or 4 of those. I think the only one I super liked was the one with the 3 robots.
Oh, that are walking around
That
after
is
the
cute.
apocalypse. That one was good. I don't think they're in the same order for everybody. I think Netflix actually randomizes them,
Really?
Huh.
which is interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah.
One that kind of like made me like kind of like twitch a little bit, like Is it the monster fighting one? Did you see that one?
Yeah.
that's
That one was a little. There were times it was a little much.
Yeah, but it had a good twist.
Yeah, but the whole thing, like the whole head stomping thing.
Yeah, it was really gross.
I was like, ugh.
Sometimes they fall into that void that sometimes when they do animation for adults where they do...
It just has to be gross.
Yeah,
and,
they be
yeah.
gross or be sexual just because they can, not because it serves the story well.
Gotcha.
And a lot of the shorts fall into that trap. There is one that's super terrible, awful about military werewolves. It's like the U.S. in Afghanistan fighting the Taliban, and also there are soldiers that are werewolves. And it is dumb, and it looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
Jeez.
But anyway, What We Do in the Shadows,
Yeah,
the movie,
Speaking of werewolves.
speaking of werewolves, has a TV series now, and it is just excellent. It's hilarious.
Good.
I
Yeah,
still never
been
watched
seeing,
the movie.
I've been seeing ads for this TV series.
Yeah.
You'd love it.
Oh,
It's
you have to
great.
watch the movie. The movie's fantastic. But the show is just as good as the movie.
Okay.
Same kind of like dry, goofy humor that the movie has.
Cool.
Like there's a running gag in the first episode that one of the vampires keeps buying crepe paper because he thinks it's creepy paper. Creepy paper. Matt Berry is hilarious in it, like he is in everything he does. Garth Marenghi himself.
Oh, that's right. That is Garth Marenghi. Yeah.
I like the new female character because there wasn't a female character
Right.
in the movie, and she's just very good and very funny.
I love the fact it's genius that instead of like the traditional vampires, they added a psychic vampire that drains their energy by being boring and annoying.
Oh, that's funny. Now, is this a continuation of the movie, or is it its own separate kind of thing with just the same theme?
It could easily,
Separate because this is in America.
yeah, it could easily take place within the same universe as the movie, but this is in America.
America. Okay, cool.
And our good friend Doug Jones.
Oh, friend of
Yeah.
the show, Doug Jones.
He's the big head vampire guy.
Oh, okay.
He looks like a big head vampire guy.
Yeah. And he does the fingers.
He does the
and-
fingers. Of course he
has
does.
to.
Yeah, he's pretty good in it. He's pretty funny.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I've seen 2 of the 3 episodes that are out, and they're all just top notch, hilarious.
Cool. I've been really wanting to dig into that.
Is this on?
It's on FX,
Okay.
so definitely check that out.
Does that mean it's on Hulu?
It's not, unfortunately.
Oh, it'll show up there eventually, or show up somewhere eventually. They all do.
It's like that I think it's Viacom owns FX, and Viacom is weird about streaming
Everything.
stuff. Everything, yeah.
Well, they have their own app. They have their own FX app, but you have to have a cable service to use it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Find a way to watch the show because it is worth it.
Oh, speaking of like FX and stuff, the Archer people released a trailer for the new season.
Oh, okay. What's the theme this year?
It's
or
called
this
it's
season?
called Archer 1999,
Okay.
and it's in space.
Oh, is it-
Like they're pulling all kinds of themes
nice.
from Alien and Space Odyssey.
We're
Like
behind a couple seasons, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. In Space 1999, clearly.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it
Very
looks good. Though I think Pam's a big alien monster. Though to be fair, Krieger was a parrot in the last one. So
Oh, yeah. Well, Josh, did you do anything the last 2 weeks? I guess week and a half.
let's see here. I rewatched all of She-Ra to get ready for the new season at the end of this month.
What's at the end of the month? I forgot.
Yeah.
Man, we got Sabrina and She-Ra in the same month. That's a good month.
April showers bring Netflix watchings. Yeah, I rewatched that and I forgot how good and how much I love that show and how well all the characters are written, including the bad guys.
Entrapped is still the best one.
Yeah, I love my little washu weird princess.
Yeah.
Especially after she gets captured and she's breaking out of her chains and running over and looking at something and then going back. Wait a minute, which thing had which hair thing? And then like just Adora and Catra's like relationship and how they interact with each other.
It's good. I'm excited for more.
God, I love that show. Best Friends Squad.
It definitely transcends the source material.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. Been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves lately.
Cool.
Get my-
They got you back in?
Yeah, get my sea legs back. Last night I actually had a really good run of hitting a bunch of skull forts and stuff. And at one point, we kept fighting this galleon. It was me and a brigantine crew. Brigantine being one of the new ship they added. It's a 3-man ship.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of like a cross between like the little ship and the big ship, like how it works. Like you can sail it alone, but it's not quite as easy as the little one. We kept harassing this galleon crew, and they were at a skull fort, and they kept messaging us. Like, leave us alone. I'm like, no.
You bullies.
We're pirate. Oh, that's not even the worst of it. So we're sitting there fighting these guys, and there's this other galleon parked on another island, not even part of us at all, part of this fight at all. We make them chase us all the way over there. One of the guys gets off my ship, sinks that ship, comes back to our ship. They come back thinking the galleon sunk them. So they alliance with us because there's the whole alliance system now you can do. You throw up a special flag and they can join your alliance.
Oh, cool.
And so they start fighting and circling around each other. Like, so we finish up the island, take the key that opens up the vault that has all the loot in it, and sail away and end the alliance.
Oh, that's great.
And then they start chasing us, and we lose them eventually and through a storm. And then we go to an outpost, and we take off all the special paint and special sails and stuff we had on our ship, make it look as basic as possible, and then sail back around, and we went and got the loot.
Wow.
Hey, Microsoft, put this game on the Switch, please.
Yes, please. I would pay this.
Yeah.
I would play this on the Switch.
Please. You did Cuphead.
Yeah.
Yeah, now do this one, please.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun. And I've also been in the testing of the new stuff that's coming out on the 30th. There's a lot of things I probably can't talk about because there's an NDA involved in being part of that. Yeah. But I'll talk about the stuff that's in the trailer, like the public trailer.
Okay.
Harpoon guns are fun.
Cool.
Every ship gets 2 harpoon guns on the front.
Cool.
And you can pull stuff in or get pulled to stuff. Or shoot a megalodon and it pulls you. I fought a megalodon last night too, for like the first time. I hate it. It's hard.
Don't break the NDA.
Well, no, that's no. That's in the game. That's in the base game. Megalodons have been out for a while. Fishing. They're adding fishing and other food type items.
That makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
And you can now cook the food. I don't think cooking the fruit does anything, but cooking the fish.
You gotta crunch that whole
You
banana.
gotta just crunch down on a whole sea bass.
Yeah, pretty much. Ooh, and there's updated ship damage. Like you'll be able to like shoot the sails off ships and like break stuff so like the ships can't move as well. It's gonna make PvP a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet.
Plus, there's an arena mode now, or there will be, that it's basically like a handful of galleons like in a small area, and everyone's given the same treasure map, and you basically fight over getting this treasure. But you get points for finding treasure, and you get points for killing and sinking people. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to push a lot of people who just want to do PvP to that, and be less in the adventure mode area, or adventure mode.
I just realized I haven't talked about Elder Scrolls Blades yet, even though we teased it.
We teased
2
it.
episodes
Yeah.
ago or whatever.
Got a minute and a half.
Go.
So you got
Oh, that's not enough time.
Did Todd let you play the game?
Todd let me play the game, and it's pretty good.
I played it a little bit.
Yeah. Don't go in it expecting an open world Elder Scrolls game. You're nuts if you think that's what you're gonna get. It's not that.
Okay.
It's kind of a distillation of things you do in the Elder Scrolls filtered through a phone game and a town builder.
Okay.
And
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's a good time killer. You can play it sideways or straight up and down at any time.
Cool.
I like the combat in it.
Yeah, the combat kind of has almost like a Pokemon Go meets sword fighting kind of feel to it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like you hold the one screen you can block, and then you hold your attack or whatever, and you wait till like the circle becomes gold or whatever, and you let go, and you'll hit the guy with the sword.
Cool.
Yeah, and each fight is kind of self-contained, like a Pokemon battle, kind of like. And it's weird to describe. I know a lot of people complain that there's not enough dungeon variety, and that the combat is repetitive.
Probably fix that, right?
Yeah, and the combat is repetitive, but I think it's engaging enough that it's fun to do to kill time.
Okay, cool.
Oh no, combat in my Elder Scrolls game is repetitive.
Yeah, it's got more going on than Skyrim does. You just tap the button.
Yeah.
I mean, in Skyrim, I just sneak around and shoot people with a bow.
Which there's no ranged combat, and that kind of sucks. But it's a phone game that's for free.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you want?
Yeah, what do you want?
And actually, the character creator is pretty extensive.
Yeah, it is.
Like for a phone game, for like a phone RPG, it's probably one of the most extensive ones I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's definitely worth picking up. I have fun with it.
Excellent. Well, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here, and when we come back, we'll get into a little bit of news. Nerd Overload is sponsored in part by MB Subculture Comics and Costumes. MB Subculture is the one-stop shop for all your geeky needs, from comics and collectibles to unique custom costumes, masks, makeup, and more. MB Subculture is located at 122 West Rensselaer Street in downtown Bucyrus, 567-806-5364, and online at subcultureoh.com. Okay, we're back. That was Tom Sawyer by Rush. That was a recommendation.
Yes, by special request.
By special request, Patreon backer Mike got a hold of me over the weekend and suggested that we made a suggestion to the show that we play only Rush and that we play Tom Sawyer. So here we go, 2 weeks in a row. And speaking of Patreon, we have a couple other backers that we'd like to go ahead and thank. We have Nicole, Lori, and someone named
sort of mystery backer.
Some mystery backer. Yeah, I'm not quite sure who it is.
The Shadow Man.
The Shadow Man. But we really appreciate you supporting the show. And if any of our listeners out there would also like to support the show or find out how to support the show, go to patreon.com/nerdoverload now. It's all right there. And you can, if anything else, you can see a very, very good picture of the four of us up there.
Yes.
It's probably the best picture we've ever taken.
Probably. Yeah, a lot of lasers. It's very good.
Pew pew.
It's a very good picture. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of news. I know we talked about the Star Wars stuff at the top of the show, but I think we want to save that for like last because
there's so much.
But you know what, Cody? You mentioned the Nintendo VR during the first half. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, did we talk about it when they announced it?
No, we didn't.
No, so this is all fresh. They announced a new Labo kit, which is that cardboard folding stem experiment thing mostly for kids. But they announced a VR kit that turns your Switch into like a VR headset.
Yeah.
Which on its own is cool and kind of worth checking out. But then, like, I don't know, a couple weeks later, they said, oh, it also is going to work with Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
Especially since you can play Zelda the whole way through with it.
You can play the entire game. That's insane. The Odyssey is just like a couple of challenge levels or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 3 challenge levels.
But that's still really cool.
It's still more Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is neat. Wasn't really looking at picking up Nintendo VR until this.
Yeah.
And now I kind of really want to get it.
It went from something that, like, that's interesting and I might think about getting it to being like, well, if they're going to support it in other places, then I'll
done.
definitely get it. I did.
Can you imagine Captain Toad in VR?
It'd be perfect. It was like made for it.
Mm-hmm. But this is really exciting, really interesting stuff.
I'd tell you how it works, but I haven't built it yet. So next week, maybe.
Yeah, the only issue I see with it is there's no head strap. You have to actually hold the Switch to your face. And so I can't see like long-term, long gaming sessions like that.
That's like 5 minutes for me. Even the Virtual Boy had a stand.
Yeah.
That's why the Odyssey one is only 3 levels. It's not meant for a long time.
Right. But it's only a matter of time before someone develops a way to play it totally hands-free.
Yeah.
Like, get a Velcro strap around the back of your head or something.
I think you'll always have at least one Joy-Con up there.
Okay.
Because it's got gyros in it.
Oh, right.
I mean, the Switch itself has some gyros, but the Joy-Con has more.
Oh, okay.
So I think you're always going to have one Joy-Con up there by your face, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. All right.
But the other one, it's free to do whatever you want.
Oh, right on.
And that's all for video games.
That's all for video games. Yeah, that's actually a very video game light this week.
Sorta.
That's the second time you've made that sound today, buddy.
That one wasn't nearly as perverty as the first time. We do have Star Wars video game news.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
But we'll get there. Do we want to knock out these couple of trailers real quick?
Yes.
I mean, there's not much to talk about with them, except there's a new Lion King trailer and an Addams Family animated trailer.
I love the Addams Family one.
I'm excited for that.
The first time I saw it, I was like, it wasn't that funny. But then for some reason, I kept watching it. And like,
Maybe I do like it.
Yeah, maybe I'm really into this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally down for Addams Family stuff. That's great.
Yeah,
Oscar Isaac is really like
Channeling his Raul
channeling
Julia.
Raul Julia for sure. It's great.
You know, I would also accept a Lin-Manuel Miranda as
I kinda would too.
Gomez.
Yeah.
That would be very good.
I would also.
But Oscar
yeah.
Isaac, also very,
Also
very,
very
good.
good. There should be a live action movie.
It's
Yeah.
almost
It
a
should-
waste.
Yeah, unless they're using this as to kind of soft launch the idea of Addams Family so that they could do a live action one with the animated voice cast.
The character designs on all of the Addams Family characters are just top notch.
Well,
good.
They
Based
look like
on
the old-
original.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say yeah.
Yeah, the was it New Yorker
Mhm.
cartoons that
Yep.
it's based on.
And the flip side of that is the Lion King trailer.
I haven't actually seen this one. I don't really, because I don't really care to be completely
The
honest.
animals are not very expressive at
'Cause
all.
they look like animals.
Yeah, I
but
saw.
the thing is, animals are expressive. It was a lazy excuse for Disney.
I saw a picture of Scar, and he kind of looked like a dried up turd.
Yeah, he's kind of real sickly looking.
Yeah,
I guess the idea is that he's been living away from the pack, so he doesn't
Also,
eat
he's
all that
the
often.
he's the weaker male.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it.
it's not. I mean, let's not get into the semantics, but it's not live action.
It's not live action.
It's not. It has no reason to exist.
No, it's just Disney trying to cash in
Yeah.
on.
If you want to do a CG redo of The Lion King, then embrace that it's CG and make it look like.
A CG.
Tangled.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, why
Yeah,
not?
exactly.
Yeah.
Make it a cartoon because it basically is, and you're not doing any favors with this style. I mean, it just
Yeah.
looks more weird than it does good.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let's switch over to some anime stuff.
But you will begrudgingly switch to some
Time
anime
for me
news.
to not talk as much, but I'm sure you guys have plenty to say
Cowboy Bebop
Yeah.
has a live action cast.
for the Netflix series, right?
Yeah, for the Netflix series, which we know how well Netflix has done making live action anime in the past.
Well,
But I feel more confident about this one than I do. Death Note looked like it was going to be a garbage fire from the
from
start.
the beginning, yeah.
This looks like it could be good. Spike Spiegel is John. Was it John Cho?
Mm-hmm. From the newer Star Trek films and
Harold and Kumar.
yep.
Yeah. I'm actually pulling up the cast list here.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about him being Spike, but I also don't not like it.
Yeah.
I mean, Spike was part of a Chinese triad on Mars, so I mean, it could be seen that he could be Asian. I mean, they never really talked on Spike's.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's the future.
Yeah, true.
Like, whatever. Yeah. Along with Cho, we have Danielle I'm going to mispronounce this. Pineda. She's from Jurassic Park: Fallen Kingdom. She's Faye Valentine.
who was she in Jurassic Park?
She is this picture.
Was
I
she like
don't
the
recognize.
dinosaur veterinarian?
I think she was.
Probably.
Looks like it.
I think she's
Yeah.
the Dino Vet.
We have Mustafa Shakir from Luke Cage is Jet Black,
Sure.
and
Give him a sweet robot arm.
someone named Alex Hassel as Vicious.
Who's
I'm just saying words because I don't recognize any
He's
of
the
this.
bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, Vicious was Spike's best friend and partner in the triad.
It's weird that they haven't cast Ed. She's one of the main cast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they would pass that one up.
What was Spike's rule on the ship? No kids and no pets.
Well, I'm sure they'll cast someone in the role. Maybe they just haven't found.
The right spindly tiny child yet.
She might be too old, but maybe Beverly from It.
Okay, sure, yeah.
See, Ed's such a weird character.
Yeah.
Also, Ed's like the weirdest looking character.
Yeah, and again, that might be why they're waiting to cast.
She's all CG.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just an animated character. Yeah,
They'll get
yeah.
a real dog for Ein though.
Yeah.
The other anime news. So Akira is going to get a live action movie. That's still a thing that's going to happen.
They've talked about that since like 1995.
Oh, it's been yes.
It's right up there with
Yeah.
like the Neuromancer movie.
Yeah. But this one actually has a little bit more credence to it. Taika Waititi, the guy who directed What We Do in the Shadows and Thor Ragnarok.
And is just an absolute genius.
Just
and
a
he's
very
the best.
yes. He's actually was talking about it on Twitter. I think he's in for directing, I believe, which means that it's actually might happen. And I don't think a live action Akira movie should be done.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be done, at least they found a director that's really good with working with like bright
Weird.
neon and weird stuff. Two things that Akira absolutely has to have.
He's kind of a weird pick for Akira, but it could work.
It could work.
I mean, it's not a funny movie.
Yeah, but
But
it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But there are some bits that are a little funny, comical moments, I guess.
and I
here
don't want to say
there.
he can only do funny movies.
No,
That's
I'm
selling
sure-
him short. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure he could do a good.
Oh, I'm certainly can. I just don't think an Akira movie needs to be made. I mean,
Hey, we're going to take this bike. We're going to start a street gang, eh?
the animated movie barely made sense as it was because it was so truncated from
Yeah.
the source material. Now they're going to try to take that, probably take the movie and make it more so a mainstream audience can walk out of it going,
Yeah.
that's a good movie, and not like, I have no idea what I just watched.
Are they going to adapt the movie or adapt the manga? Or
Very different things.
Are they going to combine the two? And
They
do a
just
different...
want the shot of the bike. They just want the bike.
Yeah, the
and
sliding bike
The sliding
shot.
bike.
That
with
has been
the-
used in so many pop culture references
Yeah.
forever.
Like, how are they going to explain the end part? Where was it? He turns into.
Space
Oh.
Baby.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Well, then, yeah, never mind. But I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do the ending and have a mainstream audience go, yes, this is a movie that I enjoyed watching.
Well, to be fair, people watched Space Odyssey 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's
And
got
at
some weird
the
moments.
time, people didn't.
At the time, people were high.
Yeah, well, that too. but yeah, no, I just don't know how that's going to work. I just don't know.
But I'm more accepting to it now than I was before.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. All right, well, hey, let's get into this whole Disney, Star Wars, all sorts of fun stuff. Let's do the Disney ones first.
Let's cut in the Bill Murray Saturday Night Live sketch where he sings words to the Star Wars.
Yes, I will do that. I'll absolutely do that.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Give me the Star Wars, don't let them end.
How about that kooky Star Wars bar? Okay, so
We don't deserve Bill Murray.
So we'll talk about the Disney Plus app stuff because it's going to roll right into the Star Wars stuff because there's a bit of crossover there.
Yeah, there's a bit of overlap.
So Disney's been talking about making their own standalone streaming service, Disney Plus, for a while now. It's actually part of the reason the Marvel shows have been pulled from Netflix, and they finally dumped a ton of information on us Thursday
Yeah.
night last week.
Yep.
So the streaming service is going to cost
$6.99.
$6.99, so $7 a month.
At
so it's
least
not-
at first.
At least at first, yeah.
Look at you, Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Netflix used to cost $7.99, but
But now it's well. But it's getting a lot of the classic content, a lot of the old cartoons and
Movies.
decom shows and stuff like that.
all the Simpsons.
That is a big one. It has
Yeah.
exclusive rights to all of the Simpsons.
That's what sold me immediately.
Yeah,
Did you see it? Did you see that Simpsons animated gag they did?
Yeah.
where they were
The
reading it out.
synergy thing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all wearing you gotta wear the ears. You gotta
Yeah.
make a good first impression.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And yeah, that does sell me quite a bit on it.
The Simpsons is my favorite thing to watch when I can't think of anything else to watch.
Sure. So along with that, they're actually creating a ton, and I mean just an absolute pile of original
also
content.
November 12th this year.
Oh, is that when it's coming out?
November 12th.
November 12th. Okay, so we got a little bit of time. That's cool. But
You have a lot of time to pick which streaming service you pay for that you want to
that you want to cancel in order to, yeah. Well,
Sorry, Verve, you might have to go.
I'm looking at you, Verve. You better up your content game.
yeah. Or you get a relative that is willing to go halvesies on it with you. Which, hey,
That also has children.
hi Paige. Thanks for having 2 kids. Anyway, let's talk about some of these original shows that they're creating for the app as well. I'm not going to read through every single one because there's too many.
We're not that hurting for time.
We're not that hurting, no. But some of the standout ones, it's getting the Marvel What If animated series, which we mentioned earlier in one of our earlier episodes because it's a bunch of animated shorts. I know Kevin Smith is doing a Howard the Duck one. There's going to be a handful of other ones. That's really cool. I think that's where the Dazzler and Tigra show is going to be showing up as well.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Speaking of Marvel stuff, there's going to be 3 or 4 live action movie tie-in miniseries, The Falcon and Winter Soldier, where which Anthony Mackie has said that it is being planned out like a Lethal Weapon or 48 Hours, the movie style, like buddy cop thing.
With him and
Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier.
Honestly,
that's great.
Their bits in Civil War were probably 2 of my favorite parts.
Yep, that is. I'm here for that.
Can you move the seat up? No.
They're doing a Loki series with Tom Hiddleston. They're not going to find an actor to replace. That's the important part. They're not finding actors to like lookalikes to replace them.
No, they're just flat out bringing them in.
They're bringing them in. The other one I'm really looking forward to is WandaVision, which there's no space in between. They're just calling it WandaVision, but it's the Wanda,
it's Scarlet Witch,
and the Vision, and their stuff.
Do you think it'll be like
cool.
they're like their life together, like where he wears clothes like a person?
Yeah, I hope so.
Is it animated?
No, it's live action.
No,
No, all of these 3 were live action, which is really cool. They're not like ongoing series; they're just like shorts, kind of like the Marvel Netflix stuff.
Hey, Paul Bethany, when you thought you couldn't get out of that mocap,
Yeah. Well, they'll find a way to make him look more human than not on the show, but whatever. Some of the other things I'm reading down the list, we have a docu-series called The World According to Jeff Goldblum. I'm so here for that.
I don't even need to know
I
anything
know.
else
I don't
about it.
I don't even
I kind of hope it's like his apartments.com style character.
Yes.
Like I love those stupid commercials.
Portlandia, the pull-out king. Yeah. the couch salesman, the pull-out king.
Yeah, the couch salesman, the
Yes,
pull-out king.
I have to yeah, this is radio. I have to say, yeah. We also are getting Star Wars Clone Wars Season 7, which is the new season.
Yeah, it's going to be it's basically they're like samurai jacking it. They're oh my god.
Take another read on that one.
No, don't. I'd say it in. That might be the name of the episode.
I didn't even think about that one.
And I'm really surprised you didn't.
I know. But basically, they're making a final season to put an end to the Clone Wars series, even though the series has been done for a number of years now. Because it had a Netflix-only lost season or whatever where, I don't know, it was kind of weird mess.
I don't think anybody saw this one coming. It's really out of left field.
That one was.
Yeah, very few people actually knew about it. I read an article where they were talking to the voice actress who voices Ahsoka, the Padawan.
Yeah.
And it seems to really, it centers a lot around her, which is fine. I liked her character.
Yeah.
But I guess there's like a part where they have like a reunion with the clone troopers from her former squad or whatever. And they all have like her visage or whatever painted on their helmets.
Oh, that's cool.
And I guess she like got really teary-eyed at the idea that they were doing that in the show.
Oh, excellent.
But yeah, it definitely looks like kind of like what her story is at the end of that era or whatever.
Yeah. So before I get into this last thing I wanted to bring up with like shows that are going to be coming out when the streaming service launches, there are a couple of upcoming ones that they're going to be launching eventually, including a untitled Hawkeye limited series where he's training Kate Bishop to be a better Hawkeye than Jeremy Renner because
Yes.
Okay. We're getting a live action series based on both the Mighty Ducks and the Sandlot.
Sure.
Okay, cool, whatever.
I'm still disappointed that it's not the Space Mighty Ducks.
That just makes me think of when I was Ness from Earthbound for Halloween once in Kent, and we walked past a couple, and I hear the girl, "Is he the Sandlot?"
Oh, that's great. All right, and the last one I want to mention here is The Mandalorian, which is the Star Wars kind of cross between Rogue One it's between episode 6 and 7, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
It takes place between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, into
Yeah.
it. Into
They've
it.
released a bunch of pictures, and it looks fantastic.
They
looks
released a bunch
rad.
of information because Star Wars Celebration was this past weekend out in Chicago, which was surprising. Didn't know it was Chicago.
Yeah, or we would have
We would've-
made some sort of attempt to be
We
there.
would have made an attempt.
Yep, it's basically the San Diego Comic-Con for Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's typically out in California, I thought.
I don't
but-
know. I don't know.
I guess we're gonna have to keep an eye on this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, because it's close. So along with the Mandalorian, which looks great, of course they dropped the trailer for Episode 9.
And it was good.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, I am finding it a little difficult to get excited for Episode 9, but I think that's almost solely based off of solely based off of they're based off of a couple things. One, the general discourse online about anything Star Wars related. It's very difficult to not look at that stuff, especially in our line of work doing this show. We kind of have to stay plugged in to that, and there's a lot of bad opinions about Star Wars.
Oh yeah, any Facebook news article about anything Star Wars, if you look into the comments,
Don't look at the comments.
It's just like a hot garbage.
Don't
stream.
as bad as The Last Jedi.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. Also, I am remembering Solo, which was the most recent Star Wars thing. It's not a fair comparison because that had a troubled production all the way through,
You're not wrong.
but it's there.
J.J. Abrams doesn't thrill me as the director.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he won't do a bad job.
Well, he did a good job
but-
with
I
Force
like-
Awakens.
Yeah.
I liked his Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
They were fine. They weren't Star Trek.
Yeah.
True.
They were Star Trek in name only.
Yeah, he's not going to be bad, but it doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
I can't get excited about it.
Sure.
'cause-
I definitely get that.
yeah.
I'm not. A lot of the visuals were excellent. I'm very glad that leaked poster was real because C-3PO does have a bowcaster in one shot, and that's pretty great. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, C-3 actually throwing hands.
Yeah, yep, into it.
Ray doing a flip over a TIE fighter
That
is
sweet
about
flip.
the raddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, like she sits there and like turns around, starts running. I'm like, what is she doing?
I like how they've made Kylo Ren just look tired. Like he's, in Force Awakens, he's like this. Oh, hey, I'm a bad guy. I'm gonna be just like Darth Vader. And by this one, he's just like tired and like done with
I
everything.
wish I didn't kill my dad.
Yeah. So does everyone else. You jerk. The one thing, if I had to pinpoint one thing that I'm decidedly not excited about, is I'm not excited at all for Palpatine.
Yeah, well, yeah. At the end
That
of
was
the
the big
trailer,
thing.
yeah, there's a Palpatine laugh, and it's
Yeah.
like that
With
is
the words-
Heavily implied.
With the words of Luke saying, "No one is ever gone."
No one's ever gone. And that's,
it's uninspired. It's
kinda, I mean, listen, I like Emperor Palpatine as,
Yeah.
I think he's an interesting character, but I was hoping that this trilogy would be able to stand on its own a little more, like make references to the originals, like, oh yeah, cool, a character here, character there, but not like be so like, oh, it's the Empire again, oh, it's Palpatine again.
yeah, it's lazy and it's fanboy bait.
Yeah, yes.
And that worries me that the rest of the movie is going to be catering to fanboys and maybe catering to the people who threw a big fit about
The Last
Last
Jedi.
Jedi.
There's no Rose in any of the trailers.
Yeah, that's troubling.
No Rose in the trailers, not on the poster, unless they've decided that, hey, we're going to keep her out of all of the advertising as much as possible to try to minimize the
Hate.
Yeah,
blowback.
or because
Because
there's
that poor
some-
actress got way. She did not deserve any
didn't
of that.
deserve any of it. Yeah.
If they kill her off in this movie, I'm going to be beyond angry.
Oh, me too.
and not because I super loved the character or anything. I thought she was fine.
It's like giving
just
in.
Good. Yeah, it would just be appealing to the troglodytes that harassed her online.
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's like a noble sacrifice death. I don't want to see
Have her stick
die.
around to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have her stick around to the end. That's all. Yeah. But it's Star Wars. As it gets closer, going to be more and more excited. That's how it always goes.
Yeah.
Definitely going to try to do the
Opening night.
Not
Opening
midnight,
night.
but opening night. Yeah.
because it's like opening night for a Saturday release is like Thursday afternoon now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll definitely try to do that. But, yeah. Was there any other big...
Oh, I hate the title.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
the Rise of Skywalker.
it's
Again,
kinda-
that's another thing that it's like very fanboyish, and like unless they use this Skywalker as a title and not referencing the last name, like you've become such a good Jedi that you can fly, you have become the Skywalker.
You've reached Skywalker level.
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
Yeah, instead of being called Jedi, they're just called Skywalkers now.
It's like being an Eagle Scout.
Yeah, right. I don't want Rey to be a Skywalker.
Oh,
I'm
no.
afraid that's what they're going to do.
I don't want her to. I don't
it.
want her to be anybody.
Exactly. Same here. I don't.
Nope.
I think it's
don't
better
want
for
it.
her character to be a nobody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it says that anyone can be a Jedi.
Anybody can be a great Jedi.
That
Yeah.
was the best part of Last Jedi was the fact that they made her just
Somebody.
somebody.
Yeah.
Because you get into this bloodline thing, and it's lame, and
Mm-hmm.
it's exclusionary, and it's
Also, the fact that the Skywalker bloodline has been the main problem in the galaxy since
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I'm concerned with the movie being called Rise of the Skywalker, it makes me think they're going to put more focus onto Kylo Ren, and I don't care.
I think, why do we need Palpatine? I think Kylo Ren is a perfectly good bad guy.
Why do we need Kylo Ren to have a redemption arc?
Yeah,
a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah,
He killed Han Solo. He killed a lot of people. A dude's a bad guy.
a lot of people have been talking about if he's going to get like a Zuko like style.
That's what they're going to do, and I don't want it.
I don't understand your Airbender reference.
Yes, you do.
So was there any other news that came out through Star Wars Celebration? We only have a couple minutes left.
There was a new Star Wars video game
Oh, yeah. Talk about it.
from EA that this time it's now a single player story game that hopefully they won't ruin.
Yeah, I hear
Trailer
fingers
looks
crossed.
beautiful.
I didn't see the trailer. I didn't know there was a trailer. but
Yeah, it looks amazing.
What was it called?
Fallen Order?
Jedi Fallen Order, I
yeah,
think?
yeah, Jedi Fallen Order.
Cool.
And basically, the synopsis is: you are one of the few surviving members of the Purge,
Okay.
Of Order
66,
Yeah.
and
Not the Purge, the time when crime is legal on Tatooine.
I mean, it kind of was.
I mean, yeah, I guess that does make, yeah.
Execute the Purge 66. Yeah, taking all the credits. Anyway, it just looks good. He looks like a young character, so probably like a Padawan or something when it all happened. Because it's definitely set during the Empire time, because there's stormtroopers and stuff everywhere.
Guys, if we lived through the Purge, I would download so many movies.
Yeah. I don't even have to
I don't
feel
want to. I don't want to kill a person. I just want to download so many movies.
guilt-free.
Yeah, like buy like 5 terabytes like hard drives just to be like prepared. Anyway, go on.
All the
Sorry.
movies. All
All
the
of them.
movies.
Yep.
I'd rob a bank. Anyway. I wouldn't kill people. I'd just rob a bank.
Anyway.
I mean, it just looks good.
EA
And
has made sure to tell everyone that there's no multiplayer, there's no loot boxes, and no microtransactions. Which is a
transactions.
problem they themselves created.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it bit him in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
It looks like you're a character who's like trying to stay like out of the limelight.
Mhm.
Because the whole thing is like his voiceover is like, to survive is to never stand out. And he looks like he's like working as like a salvage worker or something, and they're like they're cutting apart like old destroyed starships, because you see like these old like Clone Wars era like ships and stuff. And then one of the guys he works with like falls, and he's like, don't reach out, and he uses the Force and saves him.
Okay, well that sounds like a really fun game.
Oh yeah,
Sounds
I'm
cool.
super
Sounds good.
about it. I just hope it's not too much like
The
Obi-Wan.
one about the secret Padawan. That
Yes.
does Darth
Oh.
Vader had.
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Yes,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
indeed. Like I like that game, but I want something different.
Yeah.
I think they should have got BioWare on this one, but they're busy flailing around with Anthem, so...
Well, yeah. All right. Well, hey, I think we're pretty much at time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can also find us at Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nerd Overload TV.
Yep, and that's right. We're also on various podcast aggregators. I usually mention stuff like Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. We're actually on a new one. It's called Castbox. It's another app because there's always a million of them. But we're actually on the Editor's US Picks list.
Wow.
Yeah. So
neat.
we made it. We're making it, guys. So go over there
Hey.
and subscribe to us through that. I guess it's a really good app. I haven't checked it out yet, but I think this weekend I'm actually going to download it and play around with it a little bit.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah. We also have t-shirts. Just go to bit.ly/nerdoverloadT. That's TEE. Like we mentioned earlier in the show, patreon.com/nerdoverload now if you want to support the show. And the last thing I want to mention, because this ending hasn't been long enough, Free Comic Book Day is coming up the first Saturday in May, and we are going to be boothing at MB Subculture in Bucyrus. Can't go into any more details about that. I don't have too many other details other than that at the moment, but we're going to be there, so stop out, say hello, we'll shake your hand, and yeah.
You can play my game.
Yeah,
I'll bring that with
play
me.
Cody's game. There we go.
Yeah.
And I might even have a microphone. We might even be recording a few things. So, yeah, stop out. Say hey.
Get a free comic book.
Well, not from us, but
Yeah,
from
not from us, but
from the shop. Anyway, thank you again for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Pizza out.
This show was sponsored in part by MB Subculture Comics and Costumes.